This is the Video Game Podcast, episode 685 for December 7th, 2020. Kratos is gonna floss.
The new Art of War.
What else is he gonna do with the Chaos Blades?
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
I almost just spilled my drink.
Hey, all right.
Hey, hell of a good start.
Yeah, we're all a little punchy. We just got done recording one of our... If this is the first year you're listening to the show, welcome. Mm-hmm. We take the last 2 weeks of the year off, but we still record and release episodes during that time. So we're doubling up on episodes this week and next week. So we recorded one of those, which turned out to be about as long as it usually is, which means it is 5 o'clock for me and 8 o'clock at night for these gents, and we are just now recording this week's episode of TVGP. Yep. So
I will probably have enough time to finish this episode, take a shower, and go to work.
Yeah, perfect. What good timing.
Finish here. Empty the trash, make my lunches, and then go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish here, put my kid to bed, and then start editing. So like my work has just begun.
Yeah, but dude, you got 3 hours on us. You're fine.
Yeah, I should. As I'm just sitting over here like snoring and sleep. Yeah. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Get all the behind the scenes early access audio. Critical Misses is going at a real great clip. We are finishing up the recording of season 4 right now, which means patrons will be able to get started on that pretty soon here.
Mm-hmm. Good timing. My BB math worked out pretty good.
Yeah. And season 2 is on the public feed right now, so if you want to listen to the Oceans movies, we're started on that. And, all the cool stuff like the Uncensored Outcast, get early access to stuff like We Rogue Like It, where we're doing a special series right now to sort of wrap up the year. It's all good. Patreon.com/E1M1, $5 a month, the recommended tier. That's per month, not per episode, not per week, none of that. So it's super, super cheap. If you're able to support the show, that helps me out a bunch, and get us that $250 goal to have me play some spooky stuff.
Please. I need him to
Moon needs it in his life.
Look, the conditions of 2020 have been rough on everybody. What better way
if you want to redeem this year?
Yeah, what a better way to start 2021 than to have Boston squealing like a child.
Yep.
As he gets scared and terrified by playing.
Don't forget the crying.
And the crying, of course, and the crying. Like all you people out there, you wanna sup on the tears of leftists. Here is your chance.
On that note, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Well, supping on the tears of leftists is one of my favorite things. So we're going to start with Apex. Mm-hmm. So as discussed, this is getting towards the end of the year, which means tough decisions have to be made.
That things need to be cut. Some of them will be talked about in 2 weeks on our top 10 episode. Not every game can make it.
There is a lot to do and little time to do it in.
Right.
So, like any good entrepreneur businessman, I am cutting the fat, which 90% of the time, cutting the fat usually works out to mean old game of the year in next year's lists or the year after's lists.
Right.
Because, well, boy, I'm looking forward to my 2-week vacation where I can go back and play all my 360 games, which I still have installed and just haven't played yet.
There you go.
So I played Apex a little bit. Apex has suffered this week. Apex has suffered this week a lot because we have produced a lot of content this week, and there was a lot of time that has gone into that content this week. So a little bit of Apex here and there. Nothing too big, unfortunately. played a couple of rounds. I'm up to like Battle Pass level 35. I've got like 60 days left. Plenty of time to go. He says again, hammering that nail in the coffin.
The cycle
one more
repeats.
time. Yes.
Let's mark the date.
That's right.
It's all happened before. It'll all happen again.
The
All
world
those-
spins again.
Yes. I've got plenty of time all the way down. That's what it is.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, I play a little bit of Apex. I have installed and not started Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay. Okay.
Like 4 of the games. Cyberpunk comes out soon. Like,
I don't even know what I'm gonna do with Like a Dragon because it's not coming out on PS5 until March, which feels like the best time to play it because I'll have finished all of the these launch Windows games, which is
you've finished those games.
Which is essentially like 3 Ubisoft open world games all at once. But like it's out on Series X now and it looks great and plays great over there. I don't have all my save files that I have on my PS4, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
It's a tough pick-up. Like, at the end of the day, like, the end of the year always comes down to this, which is why I literally have, other than Apex, 1 game to talk about this week.
Right.
Which is, of course, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so I'm pretty sure that also takes 1 of your games each and removes it from your conversation piles.
Didn't write it down this week, but I made some more progress on, like, doing some open world stuff. Like, figuring out some assassin lairs and getting, scripture texts and stuff like that, but no main story stuff.
I didn't do anything story either. It was the same exact thing of just, oh, hey, there's a tattoo. Let's go get it.
Yep.
And God, I hate those. The flying papers.
Yep.
Why did they bring those back from Black Flag? Those were the worst part, where you're catching the sea shanties. And I was like, what's this thing floating up here? And as soon as it flies away, I was like, you monsters. How could you? Like, I actually really like the anomalies. The ones where it has the blue boxes. I think those are some pretty cool puzzles. I think those are fun.
They're also cool, though, because they take you, like, 1,000 feet straight up, and it's just like, look at this world!
Yeah, and I like that they're, I don't have all of them, but one of my favorite parts of 2, Brotherhood.
Yep, it's 2 because I've been trying to decide whether or not to mention this on the show, but it looks like they're creating a little movie that when you collect them all, it's going to show you that weird thing.
Right, like how 2 did with like whatever ancestors it was. It was like every time you unlocked whatever it was in 2 and it showed you like a 3-millisecond video clip and someone was like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, what did I just watch? What is happening here? And you collect them all. It's like a 15-second thing. And it's like, oh, that was
it's like
dope.
a video of the first civilization and it's like people doing the assassin stuff out. Like, it looks like it's doing that again. And it's like,
as soon as they flashed a clip on screen, I was just like, oh no, I'm in trouble. I gotta do all of this.
Yep. So I did a lot of open world stuff this week. I have cleared out like 6 or 7 areas.
Okay.
Also, let me just count them really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 land masses in total so far.
So, to clarify, when you're saying land masses, when you go to the map and you hit whatever button it is to show like the atlas, where it says like, here's Finland, here's England, are there 5 options there?
There is, on my screen right now, there's 2 options there because I haven't taken the option to get to the 3rd landmass that I'm assuming would show there.
Okay.
And there is 2 other landmasses which you cannot access through the atlas.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I'm doing my very best to not say anything about that, but yes, no, basically...
I was curious how much more is on that atlas screen.
Too much.
Yeah.
This game is so big, and like I am 100% in, but like no way it's on my top 10 list at the moment because I'm like 25 hours into it.
So 65 hours in.
There you go.
And I feel like I'm about
30-something,
30% of the way through the main story. Now, that is also my fault because there is an achievement for completing all of the areas, which means I am collecting all of those gold dots. I am collecting all of those white dots. I am doing all of those fights with the legendary animals. And I'm sure you've bumped into the one by now, The Witches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no?
Have fun with that, Boston. Be prepared to run away as quick as you possibly can.
Oh, man. I was just thinking, like, I've run into, like, the cursed objects, and those are some fun little puzzles.
Mm-hmm. One of those took me way too long to figure out what I had to do to uncurse that area.
Yeah.
Because it was sitting on top of a fire, and it seemed like I needed to grab it. So next thing you know, I'm on fire, and then the entire area is on fire. And then it's like, oh no, you just shoot it with your arrow, and you're good to go. And it's like, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, there's a reason those are around. The reason is the witches. Have fun.
Gotcha.
With the witches. I've done almost 2 arcs of the Order, which, number one, I'm so thankful that there's less people in the Order this time.
Yeah. There's only like 45 instead of 80.
Yes.
It's a family bush, not a family tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, Odyssey felt like it was a family forest, dude. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, with as few spoilers as I can, there has been some incredibly great story moments in this game.
Mm-hmm.
They are hinting at something through the main story that, for me, speaks to me on this Assassin's Creed fanboy level that I know, Boston. Yes. The second you hit the same point in the story, you will be like, I'm not playing nothing else. I'm only playing this game because I need to know
I will
what
send you
happens.
a text saying, oh my god, what just happened? I won't talk to anyone for weeks.
There are several moments like that. And you will hit a couple of them where things are potentially revealed or hinted at and then potentially confirmed.
I do have to say, one of the things that I think is really interesting from a story perspective that I'm not entirely sure is going to play out to mean anything, and we probably won't know until the very end of the game, is minor spoilers here. When you go execute someone or assassinate someone that's part of the main storyline, every once in a while,
about the upside down, as my wife calls it.
Yeah, every once in a while you enter like the in-between animus part where you and another character that I will not name both kind of decide the fate of the person that you have just killed, or like at least bested in combat. And I like that a lot of the options are like, are you going to go through and are you going to kill this person that you were supposed to kill? Or are you going to grant them some mercy in the hopes that maybe they'll join your crew or at least help you convince someone else to be part of your crew? And I think that's kind of a neat, like very little thing to kind of change the formula a little bit, but it's not just, here's an assassination, you killed them, requiescat in pace, whatever, moving on.
I like,
it's like
we still use the Latin stuff for it, even though we haven't been to Rome in decades.
My dearest Claudia, like it feels so much nicer, and I use that term because like that's been what it's been for almost all of these games. It's nice to see them do a little bit something. Number one, there's someone else there with you, and then number two, you at least get an option there, even if it's not like, I'm not expecting it to turn into like Mass Effect 2 where you and your entire crew take this big thing on at the very end of the game and everybody you saved is here, but it's nice you can do something.
Yeah. So let's just say that the things I'm talking about in the story indicate that there may be a reason for that person to be in that place with you at that time.
Dope. That's exciting.
And then I'm going to stop right there and leave it at that.
I need to play way more of this. Okay.
There may be a very valid reason for that to happen.
This is my vacation game.
Yes. There's some things I don't like about the game. The boats feel useless. Like I hate to say that because genuinely the sailing in Origins it was okay. In Odyssey it felt like they really got a good strength with it.
Yep.
Well, this isn't a galleon, it's a longboat. And longboats are not great, especially in England, which has rivers, and that's pretty much it.
Which I have found that the follow the river to your next objective setup leads me to crashing into things all the time.
Yeah. Well, and the horses can swim now. So, like, if I just need to get...
Which you have to do an upgrade for that, and I
go
didn't
get
know that.
Yeah. Anybody who's listening, go to the... I don't even care if it's the stable at your settlement or a different one, just go teach your horses to swim as soon as possible.
Yeah, get that and the swim speed upgrade. And it's very much like... It's not like the old games where it's like, I ran into a river and my horse won't cross it. I will get off, I'll swim across the river, I will call them on the other side, and then we'll just keep going. It's like, no, your horse knows how to swim. They stick their head up and they kind of just paddle their way over, and then you're just still following the road, and they're still going to your objective. And just
I'm pretty sure as well you can call them from while swimming, and they will swim to you. I think.
Oh, wow, I haven't tried that.
So that's pretty helpful. If it's a very wide body of water, be warned, they will give up halfway through. Just so you know.
Okay. Interesting.
I know that because I went back to
Yep, that one.
Yep, to go and get the predator bow that Nimp got, because I didn't get that previously, so I went and got that. To give you an idea, by the way, I'm 65 hours in, and I haven't got the third material once to do the final upgrades on my gear yet.
Oh, I haven't seen that either. I have a bunch of the middle ones.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of collecting a bunch of the middle ones now. But yeah, the boats feel kind of useless. The raids are interesting, but nothing special. I probably poor phrasing here, but I'm intrigued by the fact that they are trying to both sides the Vikings.
Yes.
The Vikings did a lot of pillaging and a lot of other things that you probably don't need to know.
A lot of burning of cities.
Yeah. But they were also, they were also cultured and did trading and all this other kind of stuff. It's
Family was important.
Yeah, but they got there by the burning and the pillaging.
Right.
Like, it's all well and good saying, this person's a landowner now. How did they get that land? Did they inherit it?
Right.
Did they buy it? Or did they kill everybody and put their flag down?
Some of my favorite stuff is when they run into a Catholic bishop or something, or somebody who's part of the other side, and they call the Vikings you godless brutes, and the Vikings are like, oh my gosh, ow, I have feelings too. And it's like, well, yeah, but you just burnt down his entire town and looted the church, so let's pump the brakes here for a minute.
Okay, so I have to tell this story. I have it clipped on my Xbox, and I'll probably share it at some point. But there was this mission I was doing, and it was it was a main story mission, so you'll do it eventually. It was in a monastery. I had to go and confront somebody. The person got away, but I needed a hint, so I spoke to a clergyman there. And I had enough charisma to talk the clergyman down to let me access this person, and the clergyman would go free. So I was like, dude, real simple here. I have a big, sharp, pointy thing. You have nothing.
Right.
I want the thing you have, so you give me that thing. I'm going to use this weird justification using Christianity against you. You're going to give me the key, and you're going to walk out alive. Perfect.
Right. No stabbing.
He was like, cool, great. To get to that point in the mission, I had to raid that position. So I've got my whole longboat crew running around above me because I'm underground at this point. Guy was like, cool, okay, here's the key. I'm going to go, okay? I was like, cool, you go. I'll take this.
We're all good here, man.
We're all good. He turns around and walks away, and 9 Vikings come storming down these stairs and immediately murder the dude. I was just like...
As it should be.
I was like, thanks for the charisma check and all, but you just completely voided that entire conversation.
Right. Can I bring him to the in-between Animus place to just say I'm sorry?
Yeah, I kind of
You're the bad guy all along.
Right.
It felt very Viking for me at that moment. But I mean, the best thing I can say about AC Valhalla right now is obviously avoiding spoilers and things like that. I've talked a little bit with Rob about this, friend of the show, Rob. And we have been discussing this versus the other games. And now, big caveat right here. Thoughts are subject to change, just so everybody knows.
Not done with the game yet.
Not done with the game yet, nothing like that. My thoughts are definitely subject to change. I think Boston will agree with me on my ranking of the current Assassin's Creed trilogy so far.
Okay.
So, taking Valhalla out of it, I think Origins is a better game. I think Cassandra is the better character. Between Cassandra and Bayek, Cassandra's better, Origins is the better game overall.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that, yeah.
I think Eivor is the weakest of them all so far.
I would agree with that, yes.
I don't think the game is as good as Odyssey so far.
I would agree with that, yep.
I think the story might be the best story.
Interesting, okay.
If things go the way I'm going, the way I think they're going
the
to go.
larger overarching Assassin's Creed story.
Yes, I think that might be the best they've done in a long time.
Interesting.
So I end up with this strange trilogy question of which Assassin's Creed should I play? Okay, well, if you're looking for the best overall game, Origins. If you're looking for the best player character, Odyssey. If you're looking for the most effed up stuff from an Assassin's Creed perspective, with everything all just getting completely chaos and bonkers, Valhalla.
Right.
That's where I currently stand at the moment.
Man.
Because
So 2025 Assassin's Creed Ninja, all-time best.
Right.
that's the problem, because like Origins was so good, and then Odyssey was great, and that thing was carried for me by Cassandra. Like the reason I got through that game was because of Cassandra.
And let's be honest, Odyssey is too big.
Yes, it is.
Odyssey is way too big of a game.
And this feels the same, because it feels like they've done a good job of putting less in the landmass. So in each in each shire, or whatever you want to call them, Gloucestershire, Shire,
in each borough.
When I first saw the map, I was like, "Oh, Liverpool's not in it. They've just done the south and the east. Where's the northwest?"
Right.
Having put 60-something hours into the game, thank God they didn't put the northwest in there. But it's so hard to quantify at the moment, because obviously 60-odd hours in, and I'm only halfway through the story, it feels like. I've hit some very serious emotional points in the story where one of them hit me hard, and I was just like, I'm going to murder you as fast as humanly possible.
Right.
Have fun getting to that point, gents.
It also has the extra bonus of being a real surprising showpiece for the current gen consoles, because like that being 4K, and like I know there's some variable resolution stuff they're doing, but being 4K 60 frames, having those load times is just like I'm fast traveling in Assassin's Creed game because it doesn't take time. Like before, it was like, well, let's get on the horse and let's just run over there because that's gonna take less time, and it just looks so good.
Yeah, I mean,
I keep forgetting to use my horse all the time, too.
Me too.
I'm so used to horses just being garbage that I normally don't use them, but...
Yeah, the only time I don't use them is hills, because the horse tends to move slowly up the hills, and I'm just like, I can move faster by myself. But there are some things that this game is doing that is pure quality. The two landmasses that you don't know about. I know Nimp knows about one of them, which is the fifth landmass. The two that you guys don't know about are game changers when it comes to like story-based things. And one of them, I think Musa mentioned this at one point, and I'm not going to mention anything about it, but maybe minor spoilers. Like Musa talked about how, I think we were doing Game Club, and he was talking about how he wants two worlds rendered at once, where like you switch between them on the fly.
Like what the medium is supposed to do.
Yeah. One of these landmasses has a thing where when you learn to manipulate the environment, it opens up a new environment in the same shared space.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's a really interesting concept, and the execution on it is so good.
If you're going to tell me this game has an upside-down castle, I'm going to be pissed.
It feels like it does. Like, that world does feel like that kind of thing where it's just like, wait, hold on. Once you learn the trick of it, it's easy enough to spot and it's easy enough to manipulate, but learning what that trick is the key to it. But, I totally forgot. Boston,
Yes.
I bumped into a piece of Eden.
Oh, no.
And it's not the staff.
Oh, no.
So, when I'm talking about the
They're just
story,
putting all of that stuff in
these
there.
things, it's just like,
Man.
potentially, this game has the ability for me specifically to say, this is the best Assassin's Creed story in ages, because it takes all of these loose ends that have been going on for 15 years or something now, and starts to just intertwine them a little bit better.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
And that's a problem for me, because I will say,
Yeah.
play Valhalla, but only if you don't want a main character that's not great, you want a game that's too big, but if you want the Assassin's Creed story.
Did you like the ending of Assassin's Creed 2 when they talk to you?
Yeah. Where they force you to kill somebody? Yeah.
Right.
Go play Valhalla. Like,
Right.
but it's so hard to recommend that, because Valhalla, the very first time you're out of the Animus, you see the staff right there.
Right.
And it's like, well, how did you get this staff? This is a piece of Eden.
Or like if you haven't played a couple of games, just like, what is that, and why is that important? Why is she angry? Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
So the thing is the piece of Eden I have seen, I believe, is a piece of Eden that we know as fans of the series. It has appeared before.
Interesting. Okay.
Even better, because myself and Rob took different paths to this game. I think he spotted the same piece of Eden in a different part of the landmass.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot going on here.
I'm very excited to finish this over our holiday break.
I've got, 5-6 days to try and finish this story?
The thing I have given up on, where it's like, it's okay if it's not on my list.
Literally, I'm not playing anything else now. If it's not Apex, if it's not Valhalla, I'm done. Like, I'm not starting Yakuza. I'm not starting, as much as I really want to play Sea of the Wild or whatever that thing is coming out this week. It can wait.
Yeah.
Like, it looks great. I really want to play it, but I don't want to try and squish it in. I mean, this isn't an Edith Finch where it's like, here is a 6-hour thing, play it before the Game of the Year discussions. It's like, no, I don't know how long these things take, so...
Well, it's coming out in December, so it's eligible for next year's show.
True. Just like all of the rest of the things coming out this week. But that's all I've been playing. Please play more Valhalla, Boston. I need... Because I know Nimp is not the biggest fan of the series. Like,
but I have played all of them, except for Black Flag.
You have played all of them, but your brain doesn't go into that tickle me place that mine and Boston does with all of this.
Yeah, not with this series,
snippet of videos and all this other stuff. Like, you don't get the tickle me Elmo effect like we do.
Right.
I need somebody to talk about with this, because unfortunately, Rob is a fan of the series and the boy Nimp is a fan of the series, where he just don't care about this kind of stuff.
Well, check out our spoiler cast coming early next year.
Dude, you have to beat it for that, which means you're talking late next year.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing, and tell me what you've been playing.
All right, so besides Assassin's Creed, playing Genshin Impact off and on, just leveling up characters. I've got like 4 of them that are level 80 right now, and now I'm just doing talents. Yeah, nice. I've just been screwing around getting everything that I need to level up characters, which kind of sucks because the next world level bump up is at adventure rank 50, which means I can finally bring my characters up to level 90. But at that point, everything, like right now, everything is 3 levels higher than I am. So going one more and still being at 80 and then having to bump everyone up to 90, that's gonna suck. So I'm trying to grind out all these ascension materials that I need. That way when that finally happens, I can just level everyone, ascend them, and call it good. Yeah. So the 1.2 update isn't until the 23rd of December, which is the big story and other landmass drop for this game.
Oh yeah, like the 3rd region.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
That's the big thing I'm waiting on. They've got a couple events. They've got another one running right now for the glider, which is interesting. It's just like you glide through some rings, collect some coins, and if you get high enough, you get items and stuff. So they're adding small stuff to keep everyone busy. So, the last game that I played this week is Worms Rumble.
I forgot to try that out this week.
Yep, it is on PlayStation Plus right now.
Yep.
A lot of people hate this game because the environments are not destructive.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like a turn-based thing.
Correct. I am actually fine with it not being destructive and with it not being turn-based.
Right.
Just for this. I don't want them to take that entire series and just go this way. But for this game, it's fine. My son and I have been playing it a lot together.
Oh, nice.
Right now, there is a deathmatch, a last squad standing, and a last worm standing.
Okay.
So
last worm
basically what's
really good.
With deathmatch, it's just free for all. So you drop into a spot, you get a random weapon assigned to you, like either the hand cannon, the assault rifle, shotgun, whatever, just one of the lower end weapons. Mm-hmm. And then they have crates throughout the map that you can open, and that's where you get your ammo, your health, the other weapons, all that fun stuff.
You're pretty typical battle royale stuff.
Yeah. And these maps are huge. You have infinite lives, at least for deathmatch, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's just fun running around shooting people.
I think
worms.
I think you mean squiggling around. Thank you very much.
That's right.
You can roll around.
That's right. They can roll now.
And it does have a backflip.
Yep. They also have zip lines that you can take.
Yeah.
You still have the jetpack, which is fun to use. But I mean, like, these levels, for it being a 2D level, is massive. It's a lot of verticality, a lot of closed off areas.
That's cool.
There's a lot of environment things that are happening where in one map there is a rocket that's going to launch. Not entirely sure what happens if you're around that area when the rocket launches, but I haven't heard good things.
Seeing a lot of deaths in the kill feed.
Yeah, there's another area in one of the other maps. There is a portal in the middle of the stadium, and apparently when that portal opens, it drops a bunch of crates, but it can also possibly do you damage or something. It's another thing that I haven't experienced yet. So there's some hazards into this, and my son and I were playing with a truce because there's just a lot. I think it's 30 people in a match for this. I'm not entirely positive, but there's a ton of people happening. Mm-hmm. And even in a wide area, there's some areas where you'll get into and there's nothing happening, and then you drop down 2 levels and all of a sudden everybody's there and just everything is blowing up. Right. Yeah. They have vents in this game, which you cannot see inside the vents until you're in the vent.
Oh, no.
And it is my all-time favorite thing to camp out in the vent and wait for someone to drop and just unload on them with a bazooka.
The old shotgun trick.
Yeah.
The shotgun works perfectly too, but the bazooka is awesome, and holy hand grenades are still fun.
Yeah.
They take up a lot of area. Nice. But that's just deathmatch. You're basically just infinite lives. You go in there, shoot up a bunch of other worms, and then the matches, I think, are like 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so you're not spending a whole lot of time in that.
Yeah.
The last squad standing, my son and I only played this twice, and it is difficult.
Yeah.
You spawn it. You basically get 3 characters to a squad, or 3 worms, whatever. And you pick whoever's the lead picks where on the map you're going to spawn into. And there's a certain amount of squads that can spawn into an area, and there's a counter, and it tells you, hey, this is, one of 2 squads can be in here right now. Our first match, we spawned into an area that could allow up to 4 other squads to spawn into it. We spawn. There is a chest next to me. I open it, and another team rushes us. And I get off like 2 shots, and I'm already dead. My son is almost dead, and the guy we're with is just running. Or rolling, whatever.
Sure.
So, I'm already dead. My son is trying to figure out what's happening. He ends up being the last one in our squad. He made it to, I think we made it to like 3rd place or something like that with my son, because the other guy just stopped playing altogether and died. But what ends up happening is that the map is basically closed off into sectors. And as the match continues, different sectors on the map will fill with this poisonous gas.
Oh, okay.
So it's eventually herding everyone into one area so that way the match can complete.
So that's their equivalent of the circle closing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which was interesting. It also shows you too. It'll show you because you have a little radar map on the top left of your screen, and it will show you, okay, this area is green, so it's filled with gas. This area has the red and black, bars through it, so this is going to be the next area that fills out.
Oh, okay.
And it lets you know, 10 seconds until whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all right. I just wish I didn't die as fast.
Right.
So the second match that we played, we did a lot better. We still got into third, but it was basically my son ended up with the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead rocket launcher, which basically shoots out 8 rockets at once.
Oh, geez.
He has a holy hand grenade, and all I have is a shotgun and banana grenades.
Great.
Which is basically a cluster grenade. Yeah.
So the worm's escalation is continuing then.
Right.
Yes. And my son is jumping all over the place. We're on this roof of this one area that everywhere around us is filled with gas. It's us and like 3 other teams trying to shoot each other. They have bazookas. My son is just unloading on them all over the place. I'm trying to pick up stuff, so I've got something better than a shotgun. And I get blown off the roof into the gas and die.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. So it's a lot of fun. It's free right now on PlayStation, so check it out. It may not be to everyone's liking, but it's a fun, one-off. You just want to blow off some steam for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to check out. My son really loves it. My daughter likes watching us.
Nice.
You can also customize your worms. You get in-game currency as you play.
Okay.
You can level up your weapons, which unlocks skins for those weapons, which you then have to buy with the in-game currency. I don't remember seeing a shop, but I'm not sure because I didn't go into all the menus, and I don't think there is a battle pass for this yet.
Okay.
It seems like there would be.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something that's coming down the pipeline. But yeah, you can customize your worms and all that fun stuff. So
Nice.
It's a cool game to check out. So that's all I've been playing this week.
All right. I played a lot of Stellaris this week because getting over a cold and like doing prep work for all the shows we're doing over the next 2 weeks have sort of left me with not a lot of time to play stuff, but Stellaris, especially once you hit like the mid-game stuff, you can just kind of let it do its thing for a while. I was trying to go for this trophy. It's called Pacifist, and the description is wrong because they changed it. It's essentially you and every other group in your game needs to not be at war for 200 consecutive years. And I've been working on trying to get this one for a really long time, and I've like finally gotten it to the point where I think I know how to do it, and I think I can do it. And every time I would get up to you start at the year 2200, you have to go to the year 2400 if you're going to start from the beginning. I'd get to like 2350, and I'd run into an AI uprising like every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, why are these AI uprising every single game? Like, what is happening here? It can't just be like the luck of the draw where that's going to be my end game event. This just doesn't feel right. So started a new game, and I realized what my mistake was I was researching artificial intelligence and machine pops, which is essentially you can make robots that are workers and part of your your civilization. But they were uprising because, if I check my notes, I was enslaving them and forgetting to give them citizen rights within my populace.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that was the problem. The real easy solution is as soon as you start a game, outlaw robotic workers, and that bypasses the entire problem. And you're not going to produce as much stuff, but that kind of doesn't matter if you're going to be playing for 200-something years, because you're going to get to that point anyway. You're just going to do it a different way. So I finally got it at year 2400, January 1st, 2400. That trophy popped, and that felt real good, because there were still questions out there about like, yeah, I did this thing and it still didn't work. It's like, well, I spent kind of a lot of time setting all this up. So I only have 3 more trophies before I get the platinum in the base game. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm working on another one right now that takes a significant amount of setup. That's easy to do, but you're kind of waiting for the right thing. The description is, as a spiritualist empire, you need to own 4 holy worlds. Like, you need to essentially colonize them. The problem is that holy worlds don't show up in a normal playthrough. They only show up as part of something called fallen empires, which are essentially very small, like a very small group of planets that are AI controlled, but they start the game super powered. And if they like you, they might give you free technological knowledge, or they might give you a bunch of stuff. If they don't like you, then they're just going to close your borders and you have to sort of go around them. There's one type of fallen empire that will have all 4 of the holy worlds in their borders. So essentially, you have to roll the dice to find a game that has them in it. Then you have to get to the end game so you can conquer them to then colonize those 4 worlds, and that should give the trophy. So it's a lot of like playing for 50 years to kind of explore the map. And once I do, I can figure out, all right, are they in this or are they not? If they're not, then start a new one real quick and try. So I like Stellaris a lot. It's available on Game Pass for PC and Xbox One right now. It runs really great on Series X and PS5 if you want to play that. Fortnite. Fortnite's season ended. We fought Galactus, who thankfully was appropriately gigantic. When the
I've
events,
seen some screenshots of this, and it's just shockingly big.
Yeah, like, so essentially, when the event started, whenever they have these events, it has its own like lobby. All the other gameplay modes get locked off, and you kind of only have this one mode to jump into. And this mode, you were on the shield helicarrier, and you could see the entire map below you. And then way off in the distance behind the clouds was Galactus's head, and it was huge even back there. And then he comes all the way up to the helicarrier and like smacks it down while you're on it. And then Iron Man comes in, he gives you a jetpack, you're like flying through the air as Galactus is attacking you. He then like clones a whole bunch of battle buses and puts a bunch of bombs on them, and you and all the other players are essentially doing a Star Wars like Death Star trench run where you're shooting down Galactus's forces as you're trying to get close enough to him to drive the battle bus into his mouth, and then you guys can blow him up. At one point in the trench run, Iron Man comes on the radio and goes, "Hey, just want to let you know, I got the battle bus's radio working. Here you go." It turns on, it's just like AC/DC's new track playing in the game. It's like,
okay,
oh,
of course.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're leaning all the way into this.
Yeah, it's very on brand considering, he literally uses an AC/DC song for every single one of his entrances in every single one of the movies.
Yep. It's really good. And it's one of those things where it's like, wow, you guys spent a lot of money on this 20-minute end of the season event. Okay. Which makes
they've got to pay for the lawsuit somehow.
Well, I mean, they had like 15 million people playing the event, so like they'll make that money back, no problem. And it was like Iron Man, Thor, and Wolverine all help you get the battle bus into Galactus. He like explodes or something, and essentially the thing he was trying to pull out of the map carried you over to the next season, which is essentially the greatest bounty hunters across every world, across every universe, are now meeting in Fortnite in the new map. And that includes like Kratos is in the game, Mandalorian with Baby Yoda is in there. The Joker is coming through here, I think an unrelated event. There's like
Hold
a
on, hold on, hold
gladiator. There's like somebody from space.
You said Joker. Are we talking Batman Joker or Persona
Yes.
Joker?
No, Batman Joker. Boy, Persona
Okay.
Joker would be great. But it's kind of an interesting thing, and I wasn't really expecting a lot out of the season, but it turns out they've kind of redone how missions work in the game now in a really interesting way. There's now NPCs out in the world. You start picking up gold bars throughout the game, and I was like, oh great, here's like another currency, what I'm going to buy, like build something with gold bars. This is great. What that essentially turns into is you go and talk to NPCs of the world, and they will do a couple of things. Number one, they can like give you a weapon or an item for some of the gold bars, or upgrade your weapon, so you can move to the next tier with spending some of that. Or they'll do something like you can hire them, so they'll walk around with you and fight people with you. Or you can do a bounty, which is like, hey, I need you to kill this other player character in the world. This giant area is where they're at. If you go take them out, you'll get a ton of XP. And one of my favorite things is seeing people in the world that don't realize that that person standing over there is an NPC and not a player character, and watching that NPC hunt them down and destroy them, which is really great. So it's largely the core of Fortnite is great. They've removed some guns, they've brought some new ones in. All the new ones feel really great. The new map is really fun. One of the first missions in the game is you get the Mandalorian skin at like level 1, and the first mission is to go find his ship. Once you do that, you get like his right shoulder piece of armor gets upgraded, and like the next one, his like left leg will get upgraded. So you're sort of like building his whole armor set over the entire
Sounds
season.
Oh, kind of like the show.
It's kind of neat. Yeah, like it's very much like, oh, I watched the first season. All right, yeah, we started to do that. Okay,
Well, you know what they
so it
say,
seems. No, I don't, and I won't hear of it. Because the intro movie references that.
Yeah.
Because of course it does. But so far it seems like they've taken Fortnite and they've kind of taken a lot of the chaff around doing missions and stuff, and they've really streamlined it, and they've really made it a lot more clear, and they're giving you more things to do in the middle of a map, in the middle of a match while you're sort of running around. It's like, all right, we're like halfway through a match and I haven't seen anyone, but at least I'm doing more things.
Yeah.
So far so good, and I bought Kratos because it's fun watching him do a lot of those dances, and he looks really good in there too. And the backpack for him is Mimir, but
That's
Nice.
his eye hole has like a really bright light coming out of it.
So
it's really great.
I have to ask,
Sure.
how annoyed are Sony that he does all of those emotes?
I mean, I feel like you have to understand that that's what's going to happen. Like, if Kratos is going to Floss as soon as you put him in there, I feel like that has to be like the understanding where it's like, all right, we're in negotiations for this. You know, this is the stuff he's going to do. Are you okay with all of this stuff?
Yeah, but do you think they actually read the fine print, or do you think they just signed the contract?
I don't know. I feel like if you're looking to enter one of these deals with Sony or with Epic, Epic's probably putting a lot of money up. Rumor is that the next one is Master Chief, which would be quite a get. So I'd like to see something from like every one of the platforms. That'd be really great. And it's great because like you can just play. In one of the coolest things, you don't just get to play as Kratos on PS4 or PS5. You can play as him on any platform. So it's not like, whoa, you're playing the Switch version? You cannot play as Kratos. It's just like, yeah, man, it's all in Fortnite. Whatever. Who cares? So that's really great. Fortnite's still really great. 2 thumbs up. Last one I played real quick, Destiny 2 update, the Friday Night Raid crew. We got through the second boss, which was an incredible fight once it finally clicked, and for sure, definitely the hardest fight in that raid. The jumping thing that happened after that is absolutely as cool as it sounded. Everyone said it was. It's a fun little encounter. The music in there is incredible. It's one of the best pieces of Destiny music. And it's kind of a nice cool down period after that second boss, which is a very complex and very rewarding fight. So next week we're going to try to get the... we actually got the first encounter down the very first time we did it this week. So it's like, all right, we clearly got the beginning parts down here, so we're making a lot of progress learning it. So that raid continues to be really, really great, and a bunch of us got a bunch of weapon drops this week, and there are a bunch of raid exclusive perks on those weapons that are all sound and feel really strong. Not to the point where it's like, oh, if you don't have them, then you're at a distinct advantage.
You'll never get into another raid again because everyone kicks you.
Yeah, exactly. Or like you're ungodly in PvP now because you could raid. Nothing like that. It's just like, oh, now I can, especially in the raid, I could use these weapons to make my life a little bit easier as I'm doing the things in the raid. So that stuff feels really rewarding. But Destiny 2 continues to be great. And that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of December 6th, 2020. Call of the Sea comes out PC, Xbox One, and Series X. I keep forgetting the name of this game, but this is the one that I'm really excited for because it's like a first-person puzzling thing.
Yeah, it's the one that's got really cute, like really amazing but cute design as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like a real blue sky looking thing. I think this is a new team, but it seems largely like in that Witness / Edith Finch genre that I like. That I see a puzzle first person game, and I'm like, yeah, all right, come on in. Let's hop onto the Series X. Doom Eternal is coming out on the Switch. If you haven't heard, that they canceled the physical version of this, so this is a digital only release. I don't believe there's been any pre-release footage of this out, so we don't really know how it's going to run, which is a good way of saying don't pre-order it.
Google before you buy it.
Yeah, like let's give it a couple days, and it's on Game Pass right now, so
and will be forever.
Yeah, you could go just play that there if you're worried about frame rates and resolution and stuff.
So they do have a Switch trailer, but it literally looks like the PS4 and Series and
regular
versions.
Right.
It's like
footage does not represent final product.
Yeah, unless that's like unless that's the streaming version, ain't no way that's on the Switch.
Yeah. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 comes out on Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X.
So guess who's got another Tetris game to play?
Yeah. I think this one has an additional mode, and I never remember if it's like this. They added the story mode in this version, which has historically been pretty cool, or if it's something different. But these games are really fun. Puyo Puyo is good. Tetris is really good. Smushing the two together at the same time that you can also do is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Brigandine, The Legend of Runercia comes out for the PS4. I think this comes out on Switch later. Shockingly, after like 20 years, there's another Brigandine game. I think the last one came out on Saturn, PS1.
This looks like a turn-based strategy game.
It sure is. It's like a hex-based one, but you're also doing like world
conquests and stuff like that.
Yeah, like world map conquest stuff. It is I've always admired these games from afar. I think they would really be my jam, but there's been such a huge gap between them. It's like, can I really go back to something that came out like the Saturn and expect a great gameplay? You know,
it looks like Civilization Disgaea.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
Sorta. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be. Yep. There's a demo coming out on PS4, I think this week. So I'm gonna try and give that a shot. Cyberpunk 2077, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. The PS5 and Series X patch comes out sometime early next year, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. So guess who is not buying this game until it gets a patch?
Yeah. I feel like this is one of the few games this year we don't need to talk about because no one will talk about.
I don't know what this thing is. What is this Cyberpunk 2047 that you referenced?
Right.
It's a tabletop game.
Okay.
Yeah. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond comes out on PC, and the reason why I didn't realize that one of these was coming out right now is because this is the VR one.
Oh, for the record,
yes,
folks,
Mr. Moonpier.
For the people listening at home, we have been recording so long today that my screen just went into night mode.
Nice.
We're almost done. And Destiny 2 gets a PS5 Series X patch this week, which brings it to 4K 60 frames or 4K 120 frames in Crucible.
Just so you know, Boston, this is in my queue for downloads.
Good.
Look what you have done.
Good.
Times though.
I will help you. I will be your Sherpa. And anyone else out there that's listening, especially if you're in the Discord server, the Destiny 2 channel is hopping. We will help you. I will help you in person. Come join, and I have it on every platform. Thank you to Game Pass. I don't have to spend money to buy it on a third platform. Just 2 of them.
True.
So let me help you, Moonpier. Let me help you. All right, let's move on to news stories. Atlas accidentally released a trailer for Persona 5 Strikers, revealing the North American release date, which is really great. It's coming on February 23rd, 2021 for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and a brand new PC port coming out on Steam that did not come out in Japan.
As a football fan, soccer for you Americans out there.
Yes, it's a confusing name.
The term strikers in there, and it's not a soccer game. I get immediately disappointed.
Yeah, it's a Musou game, which played the demo of this, the Japanese demo of this, and it's really interesting because it kind of combines. So it's Persona 5 2, to be clear, is a direct sequel to Persona 5. The Japanese trailer for Strikers, the end screen, it says P52, and then the S flies in from off screen and knocks the 2 out and just leaves it as P5S. It's a Musou game, but you still need to use the right elements from your persona against the enemies. So it kind of managed to mush the 2 together in a really cool way. And apparently the trailer will be released for real on the 8th. But it featured the English voiceover too, so it seems like between the new PC port and probably the English voiceover being a very difficult thing to do due to the circumstances around 2020, it's no wonder why this was delayed for a while. But I'm glad we were getting to the point where it's like, oh yeah, it's not coming out over here, is it? Like they're just gonna skip it. So I'm very, very happy they're bringing it out over here, and I'm very happy that Persona 4 Golden wasn't a one-off for their PC support. That's great. It'd be nice if SMT3 and SMT5 might come to PC. Not really expecting 5. Nintendo's probably financing some of that, but very excited to play this, which is probably going to be my first real Musou experience.
You missed out by not playing the Fist of the North Star one, man.
I know, that one looked really good. It landed at a bad time, I think.
No, correction. No Musou games are good, dude. They're acceptable.
They're fun. Yeah. They might not be good, but they're fun. Our last news story here, Oscar Isaac will be Snake in the Metal Gear Solid movie, which Number one, forgot there was a Metal Gear Solid movie coming out.
Yeah.
It's been in development hell for a decade.
Since 1987, so yes.
Yeah. And Oscar Isaac is a really good choice. Number one, because he's really good. And number two, he will probably be a really good Snake.
Also, he because everything comes back to Dune, he's also in the Dune movie, just so you know.
That's right.
Boston.
He is. Someday we'll get to see that next year.
Yeah, someone did dream casting for the Metal Gear Solid movie and put Liquid Snake as the guy from The Boys, the blonde-haired guy from The Boys.
Yes,
I can't remember the name of. It's like
Homelander.
Yes, I was like, okay, that's genius casting. Go for it. And Tom Holland is Otacon, which
I saw that. I was like, yep, that's really good. And like Kurt Russell as Big Boss.
I think was Kurt Russell Big Boss or was he Revolver?
Oh, I don't know. God, both of them. Maybe.
I was gonna say I could see him go for any one of them.
He can grow a mean mustache. Like,
you know what? I was gonna say, you know what? With the storyline, eventually, it's not gonna matter. No. They're all the same character.
Yeah, they're all gonna. Everyone's gonna play everyone else. So yeah. Oh man,
it's just Oscar Isaac. Everybody. That's the only cast member you need.
Oscar Isaac as Metal Gear. This is definitely one of those ones that I will not get my hopes up, even if the trailers start coming out and stuff like that, because it feels like one of those things that it's almost impossible to capture the weirdness of the source material. But it seems getting somebody like Oscar Isaac in there is sort of like, all right, yeah, like that dude's a real actor. Like you got a real solid, good professional actor in there. So like, all right.
Well, I've already started seeing memes of people saying, yeah, that's great that you guys got Oscar Isaac, but we all know what's going to happen is that he's going to be on the screen for 5 minutes and it's just Owen Wilson playing Raiden for the rest of the movie.
Right. God, I wish. Oh man, especially if you want to do like the biggest Metal Gear Solid bait and switch twice in history about the same thing.
Especially if the first time he shows up on the screen, he just says, wow.
Yeah, he's like, whoa. No, it'll just be Oscar Isaac for 5 minutes, and that's Keanu Reeves in the big shell.
Oh, God.
That'd be great. Oh, man. All right, well, we have recorded a lot today, and it's late. Thank you very much, everyone, for your questions. We're going to hold those off until next week, where we will probably hold them off until the new year, if we're being entirely honest. TVGP.tv is where you can visit us. Everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers, is where you can get all the cool stuff. Please join the Discord server. It's the best community on the internet. It's very friendly for newcomers. And, all the other stuff we record. It's late. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Oh, man. All right, Nip. Yep. Hit me with your titles.
Completely forgot we have to do titles. I was waiting for stop recording.
I almost forgot to. I have Cutting the Fat.
Mm-hmm.
Requiasa Apache. By the Burning and the Pillaging. The Tickle Me Elmo Effect.
Oh, God.
And Kratos is gonna floss.
I gotta write that one down. Is gonna floss. All right, Moon, what do you have?
Sup on the tears of leftists.
Forgot about that already.
Too political.
Probably.
I wanted to put that down too, but
I like it, but probably not. Yeah.
Speaks to me. The Upside Down. Still using Latin. Thoughts subject to change. The Worm's escalation, and Kratos is going to floss.
The Worm's escalation is really good. Escalation. All right, I have The Cycle Repeats, Last Worm Standing, Cutting the Fat, Kratos is going to floss, Still Using Latin, and The Worm's Escalation. I just dropped my pen. I feel like Kratos is gonna floss is on all three of our lists, so it's probably the easy choice.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Well, and what other ones you feeling? I like still using Latin as well.
Still using
fell asleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, crap, Moon fell asleep here.
No, trust me, if I was asleep, you'd know it. I almost swore then. I'm so glad I stopped.
Oh,
myself.
they're just.
No, because I tend to jelly, so like it would be like half off the screen, like down here somewhere.
Go forehead to mic and screen, yeah.
Yeah, smack your face on the desk, yeah.
Still, honestly, nothing's really screaming at me right now. But yeah, I think still using Latin and Kratos is gonna floss is probably the best two. Let's just do Kratos.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm leaning more towards that one.
Yeah.
Still using Latin is normally would be a pretty solid choice. But my brain is shutting off, so
I got nothing. Like nothing at all.
Head
I got
empty.
something.
No thoughts.
First time in 2 weeks, I finally got something.
All right. Well, let me know when you guys want to get started.
This is the screw job for you guys. You guys are ready to go to bed, and I'm finally starting to wake up now.
Right, you got enough caffeine in you. Your day's getting started.
Okay, I'm ready, I think.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is the Video Game Podcast, episode 685 for December 7th, 2020. Kratos is gonna floss.
The new Art of War.
What else is he going to do with the Chaos Blades?
That's right. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us, watching us, chilling. I got nothing. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And we stop recording. Click.